Avery Knox didn't flinch. I swear if she blinked, I missed it. The man screamed inches from her face. His spit hit her collar, clipboard trembling in his fist. She didn't blink, just held up the USB, one finger, one file. Behind him, boots pounded pavement, 4 men running, all in HOA blue, all too late. The laptop screen flickered, surveillance footage, time-stamped, unedited. She tilted her head, barely. That was her answer. He didn't know it yet, but the moment he yelled was the moment he handed her the match. Avery wasn't new, just quiet. She'd lived on Lot 12 since April, never missed a payment, never raised her voice. The Jeep in her driveway still wore desert paint, chipped, dull, wrong for the neighborhood. But it ran, and it was hers. She replanted the corner shrubs, painted the old mailbox green again, same shade her dad once picked, hung a bell on the porch that only rang in wind, not people. She didn't host barbecues, she didn't join the HOA chat, but she waved, every time. They didn't like that. Someone said she was off-grid, someone said she parked too close to the curb. The letters came next, folded, stiff, anonymous, warnings, citations, a blurry printout with the words non-compliant aesthetic underlined 3 times. She kept them, filed, time-stamped, untouched. Avery had a drawer for noise. This wasn't her first time needing one. The clipboard crews came on Tuesdays, always 2, sometimes 3. Measuring tape, flashlight, that same polite smirk. She never opened the door, but she always listened. Needs retrim? Not native species. She's not adjusting. One morning, she left a sprinkler running, just for a minute. They knocked 5 times, then wrote her up for water misuse. She watched from behind the curtain, didn't write back, didn't complain, just reached for the old GoPro under her sink, checked the date, charged the battery, and placed it exactly where it wouldn't be seen, but would see everything. The HOA didn't knock anymore, they entered. Code 14, B. Visual assessment of outdoor violations. It gave them 15 feet, enough to step past the mailbox, enough to make a point. Clipboard Linda came first, not her real name, but that's what the block called her, hair too blonde, smile too tight. She wore her badge on a lanyard, not issued, just printed, laminated, worn like law. Avery was trimming vines that morning. Didn't stop, didn't look up. Linda stepped closer. "You were warned," she said. 3 words, too calm. Behind her, 2 men waited. HOA Navy, branded hats, sunglasses, matching clipboards. They looked like a team. They weren't. Linda took out her phone, snapped a photo of the Jeep, of Avery's boots, of the porch tiles, still half repaired. Then slowly, she lifted the clipboard, checked a box, and said it. Non-compliance, pattern of resistance. Avery blinked once, wiped sap from her gloves, then stepped back, just enough for the porch camera to catch Linda's angle, face, tone. The bell behind her moved, windless, still rang once. Linda flinched. Later that week, new signs went up. Temporary notices, neighborhood-wide. Zone review underway. All posted in blue, all stapled to mailboxes at 6:17 a.m. Then the gate code changed. Group chat went silent. And the Thursday flyer, the one that used to list bake sales and pool hours, now came with fine print. Lot 12, subject to enforcement oversight, review initiated. Avery didn't remove the notice. She scanned it, saved it. Then printed 3 copies, one pinned to her fridge, one mailed to her old CO, and one folded into the yellow file she hadn't opened in 7 years, until now. She slid it open. Inside, a list of call signs. 3 names circled, 2 addresses confirmed. The last name, no address, just 1 note underlined twice. Will only come if it's personal. You've seen this happen too, haven't you? When silence gets mistaken for surrender. I used to think keeping my head down was the smart way, until I learned some people don't stop, unless you make them. If this story reminds you of something, you can leave it here. And if you want to stay for how it ends, you know where to find us. They left the notice on her windshield, folded twice. HOA letterhead, signed in blue ink. Avery didn't read it. She didn't need to. She reached into the glove box, pulled out a map, edges cracked, corners bent. It smelled like the shed. She laid it flat. The ink had faded, but not enough. Block 7, Parcel 3. Line traced by hand. This land wasn't drawn by a developer. It was drawn by her father, before HOA had a name, before the bylaws came. Avery tapped the corner. Right there, the easement line, 2 feet narrower than what they claimed. She circled it, once, then pulled out her phone, scanned the page, saved it in 2 drives, one in the cloud, one in her pocket. Then she waited. No calls, no visitors, only the sound of sprinklers and clipboards being closed too loud. She opened the shed that night, pulled the second box from the floorboard. Not documents, not files, photos, all time-stamped, men in blue, inside property lines, holding measuring tape. She didn't send them, not yet. She placed a single photo under the windshield wiper of her Jeep, face down, a test. By morning, it was gone, and in her inbox, a new email. Request for compliance, quoting the wrong land code. She didn't reply, she just opened the scanned map again, zoomed in, and smiled, only slightly. The meeting started at 6:02, 3 folding chairs short, everyone standing. Clipboard Linda already talking. Avery walked in late, no apology, no eye contact, just the yellow folder in her hand. She sat, opened the folder, pulled out a printed map, thicker paper, clean ink. Linda paused, just half a second, then went on. HOA violations, easement encroachments, unauthorized fencing. Avery waited, let her finish, then placed 3 sheets on the table. The original plat, 1973, a copy of the revised HOA survey, 2016, a notarized affidavit signed by her father before passing. She didn't speak, just slid the papers forward. The room quieted. Linda reached for the revised survey, but froze. The stamp was wrong, outdated, not filed with county records. Someone cleared their throat. It wasn't Avery. Then she placed one more item, a printed email, dated 3 weeks prior, from Linda. In it, language clear, too clear. We can redraw the boundaries once she's pressured into non-compliance. No one spoke. A lawnmower started somewhere outside. Inside, still silence. Avery tapped once on the final page, highlighted in yellow. The sentence that wasn't meant to be seen. Then she looked at Linda, not long, just enough. Linda opened her mouth, then closed it. Someone whispered, "Is that legal?" Avery stood, didn't answer. She didn't need to. Linda stood, shaky voice. "But that email, it wasn't finalized. That was a draft." Avery didn't respond. She just took out a flash drive, same one. From the BBQ, inserted it into the laptop. Pressed play. The screen lit up, audio, room tone, then voices, Linda's, crystal clear. "She's ex-military, not legal. She won't push back if we act fast." Someone gasped. It wasn't dramatic, just small, honest. Then another voice, male, nervous. "Are we even allowed to redraw without a vote?" Linda, "I'll take care of it. They trust me. She's alone." Silence. Then the footage cut. Avery turned the laptop, let the room see themselves, reflected, quiet, uncomfortable. Mrs. Green, the neighbor who once complained about Avery's Jeep, looked away. Mr. Dalton adjusted his glasses, didn't meet anyone's eyes. Linda stepped back. "Fine, so what? Nothing illegal happened. You all knew what we were doing." That was it. The shift. Mr. Collins, HOA treasurer, finally spoke. Low, steady number, "We didn't." Then a voice from the back. "That's my fence on that map. I was told she approved it." Another. "Why was mine moved last year? Was that even legal?" Avery didn't say a word. Didn't have to. Linda looked at her. Not with anger, with fear. Not of being wrong, of being seen. Her voice cracked. "This is a setup." Avery stood, picked up the folder, clicked the USB shut. "If you'd like to file a complaint," she said, "the county recorder's already reviewed it. They're waiting on your version, for comparison." She walked out. left the door open. Linda stood alone, clipboard still in her hand. Useless now. The street was quiet again. No meetings, no clipboards, no shadows pacing the fence line. Avery stepped onto her porch at dawn, barefoot, coffee in hand. Steam rose, silence held. The gate creaked, just once. No wind, just the weight of something finally lifted. She walked to the edge of her lot, paused beside the oak stump, reached down, pulled something from the dirt. It was the brass corner of an old boundary marker, rust still clinging to the thread. She wiped it once with her sleeve, then set it gently atop the stone mailbox. Left it there. The houses nearby stayed dim, blinds half drawn, doors locked. Nobody watching, everybody watching. The mailbox still bore the dent from the second notice. She didn't fix it. Didn't have to. On the porch railing hung one thing. A clipboard. Empty. Stripped of its forms, its fines, its signature threats. Avery didn't hang it there to remind anyone. She hung it there to let it fade. She stepped back inside without a word. Left the door open, let the morning settle. Somewhere, far off, a sprinkler ticked on. Rhythmic. Predictable. Like it used to be. She didn't smile, didn't breathe deep, just took another sip. And behind her, pinned to the fridge with a dull magnet, was the map. Folded once, edges torn. One street circled in red, one lot shaded gray, and one word written in ballpoint beside it, kept. Nothing else changed that day, but no one ever stepped over her line again. She didn't fight to win. She fought so no one would forget where the line was drawn. And for the first time in weeks, the neighborhood slept straight through the night. Some endings don't arrive with noise. They arrive like morning light, slow, certain, undeniable. A boundary marker, dug from the soil, says more than 1,000 shouted claims. It doesn't argue, it remembers. The clipboard didn't break, it didn't burn, it just stopped being needed. Sometimes the sharpest justice is the kind that fades quietly once it's been understood. There's a power in restraint, in knowing the law, but choosing silence until silence is no longer enough. She didn't take back the street, she reminded it who first laid the gravel. Older folks understand this best. You don't yell about what matters. You protect it. You wait. You act when the wind changes. Even trees know that. They stand still for years, until one season they lean back toward the sun. Because truth doesn't rush. It just stays. And sometimes the line doesn't move because someone defends it. It stays because someone never forgot where it was drawn. There are things that do not need to be fought for, as long as you know the ground and stand still when it matters.